Beer time banner. Beer break. It's just a Heineken. Ugh. Should maybe turn on the extractor because fumes are a little stronger now. Maybe it's because it got a little hotter. Fumes are a little more noticeable. If you guys can hear the fan, let me know. It's a little too loud. So I bought this thing, citrus adhesive remover, adhesive cleaner. Um, all the hours I spent cleaning up the contact cement. Yeah. I mean, I'm just drinking beer because it's what I have cold here in the mini fridge. So I should buy maybe a little bit of a. You know what? That's gonna be the coffee station where the mini fridge is. Or I could move the mini fridge to the back. We could have the coffee station back there somewhere. But that's the area with the least amount of dust goes to, which is ideal. Or just my coffee. Because here, the table saw sled does go backwards quite a bit. And it goes over the mini fridge, so I can't put a coffee station there. It could be a wall cabinet, actually. A little drop down lid, and I can run the kettle, the electric kettle. I want to buy one of those fellow uh, pour over kettles. They're very nice. I like how they look. That's plain. Uh, I want to get one of those, and I'll have the 60, the AeroPress in there, and whenever coffee times comes up, I just plop it down, prep all my stuff, then afterwards I push it in, close the lid. That would be my first little cabinet. Instead of having like a tool cabinet, I have a coffee tool cabinet made. So yeah, I should at some point eat lunch. I don't know what I'm. Oh yeah, sorry, I have plantain soup. I think that's the right word for it. Really good. Um, I'm gonna go and eat that later on. I wanna see if I can actually get this mostly done before I go eat. So when I head out, I just wanna like close shop and forget about working for the rest of the day. So then I can sit down and eat. I have to stop the stream midway, go and come back. We're gonna pull through this. But technically, we are almost on the other side. All right. Burpee. That's the. So when I've used like a whole sheet of laminate, like wood grain laminate, and I've made all the doors like continuous, one after the other. I had like a whole setup made, like I would prop up the door up against something, a little ledge, and that little ledge would be the overhang I would have of all the doors so they all fit together. Where I would actually laminate all of the doors at one time and then route them out with a very thin blade. I have another, like it's a bearing less uh, less trim bit, but I've had very mixed results with that. I don't who uses that anyway. It's like the bit, yes, it works, but it burns the all the edges because it doesn't have a bearing. It's just a smooth tip. It's a cylinder with a smooth, rounded tip, and the cutting edges on at a certain point. So I don't know if you guys have seen one of those. Let me see if I have it right here, real quick. I think it's in the router box. No, the other one. I have one of those because that's what we used to use on the old workshop I used to work at. I started out woodworking. So, Dusty, I don't want to get this. Yeah, these little suckers. I don't know if you can see it. No, it's focusing on my face, not. Well, these things are a nightmare. It will burn up the edge. It is not particularly flush anyway. That's what we used to use. You know, me, I'm just using what I knew at the time I bought it anyway. That boss was kind of a cheapskate. Um, when the minimum was $7.50 an hour, he would pay me $7. And yeah, I was basically stuck there. I couldn't get out because I didn't have enough money to get out. I didn't have enough money saved up to just like quit and go to a different job somewhere. So I had to work two jobs. I started working. What's the opposite of the graveyard shift? Like the very, very, very early morning shift at a bakery as a barista. Barista. Uh, barista, cashier, baker's assistant, blah blah blah. I did a whole bunch of stuff at a bakery. So yeah, fun time. I still hear some songs on the radio, and I'm like, ugh. Yeah, it reminds me of those guys. And the other guys were paid more. They did a horrible job, but since one of them was his old like elementary school friend, and the other employee was his brother, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be the odd one out, you know. Even if I did like, I had to cover up their asses for their mistakes all the time. It's like, I mean, I didn't cover it up in the sense that I did something for the so the boss would notice. The boss would ask me to fix their mistakes all the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm the one getting paid less here, you know. After that, I went out to work with a crazy architect. Um, I was an even bigger cheapskate, but he did pay me $8 an hour because I requested $8 an hour. Should have asked for more. But yeah, he was super happy with me. I had a fun time working with him. It was crazy. The guy was crazy, but he did some really cool jobs. You know, the kind of jobs I would have liked to start working with. A lot of very custom work. Um, I should definitely post like the newspaper article that talked about the kitchen that we worked in. It was on the newspaper and stuff. It was like a design uh, spotlight, blah blah blah. Of course, he didn't design it. A friend of his, who was another architect, designed the kitchen, but we made it. So yeah, it was an interesting couple of months because then we would have to work at in location. It wasn't like build it in the shop, bring it over, install it. It was a more intricate, labor-intensive kind of work. It was like concrete cabinets. Cabinets were made out of concrete. The doors were made out of wood. Um,